Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing our 5.0 mock draft, I believe. This is going to be the National Championship edition. Congratulations, Michigan Wolverines, on getting the National Championship. They were able to beat the Washington Huskies with Michael Penix and Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk. Two great teams. It was a fun game. Running the ball was huge for the Michigan team. And yeah, you see the thumbnail, you see Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy. So, spoiler alert, while I might have not had them in a regular mock draft, they're going to be in this one. And yeah, this is going to be the top, I believe it's going to be, yes, the top 18 selections for the NFL draft, unless, of course, someone makes a trade, and there will be possibly trades in this mock draft. But yeah, this is going to be how it's going to be. And with the first overall pick, we have the Bears. All through my mock drafts, I've argued Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison. It's really just been those two guys. And in this one, I'm going to make a trade. The New York Giants, I believe, right now are in the best pick spot to make the trade. Unless you think it's possibly the Commanders or the Patriots who are going to try to block a team from trading up to one and possibly taking the quarterback they want. But I'm going to have it be the Giants. I'm going to have the Bears trade with the Giants. These won't be the actual details of the trade, but just going to make it quick. Make sure it's just going to be 1 through 6 straight up. We could see maybe Saquon Barkley in this trade, maybe Darren Waller, but we just want the teams in the right pick selection. With the first overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants will select quarterback Caleb Williams out of USC. I think the Giants are just in dire need for a quarterback. I don't know if you can rock with Daniel Jones, who might not even be ready next season. So I don't know if you can rock with Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito for another season. Maybe you can find a veteran in this offseason. If the Browns are wanting to move from Joe Flacco, maybe you take a chance on him. But Caleb Williams, first overall pick to the New York Giants. They need a quarterback, so why not need to trade up for one? Second overall pick. I don't think I've ever mocked this, but while I've not had my computer and just think about mocks in my brain, at this point, the Commanders are probably in need for drafting quarterback. Sam Howell has not looked good these last couple of weeks, so go get Drake May, go get your new quarterback, new head coach as well, gonna probably look for his guy. We'll see whether that's going to be Jaden Daniels or Drake May at 2. I'm gonna have it be Drake May though. At 3, have the Patriots, and surprise, possibly? I don't think so. We're gonna have 3 straight quarterbacks go off the board right away. And that's going to leave the Cardinals at 4 sitting pretty right now. Didn't mean to say that, but they're at 4 with arguably the best player in this draft, Marvin Harrison. We're going to take him. Easy. Very easy pick for the Cardinals at 4. Arguably the best player in this draft. Did he deserve the Biletnikoff Award? I probably would have went Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors over him. But when it comes to draft prospect, Marvin Harrison Jr. has it all. I'll have him go 4 to the Cardinals. Just a height, weight, speed demon. He's just an amazing player. He's going to have a great career. And he's also going to start out as wide receiver 1 for this Cardinals team. With the 5th overall pick, we have the Chargers. In my opinion, this can go 4 different ways. Joe Olufishanu, Brock Bowers, or Malik Neighbors. Their wide receiver position, while they have good talent there, it's not really secured. Keenan Allen isn't due for a contract next season, I believe. Same thing with Mike Williams. Same thing with Josh Palmer. And Quentin Johnson is just not a great receiver. So, obviously, he can get better, but his rookie season was not too promising. So that's why I would argue that Malik Neighbors is an option here. But I am going to lean Olufishanu here. While it's close between him and Joe Alt, he's still going to be my number 1 tackle in this class. But yeah, it should be interesting. It should definitely be interesting for the Chargers next season if they're able to put all that talent together. I'm going to assume that they're able to with a new head coach as well. Let's see if they maybe bring in a guy like Jim Harbaugh. A lot of people want to say Bill Belichick. Obviously, that's an option, but you never know. I think getting Olufishanu, a tackle who can protect your quarterback, is going to help them a lot. At 6, we have the Bears, and this is going to be their trading down spot. I think now what they're really looking at is either, we see them at 9 as well, they're going to look out either edge, my opinion, wide receiver, and while they don't 100% need a tackle because you do have guys like Joe Alt up here, at 6 though, I think I'm gonna give them Malik Neighbors. I guess, I mean, I know the edges in this class. I don't know if Dallas Turner ends up going this high. Same thing with Leatu Latu and Jared Verse, who are my top 3 candidates for going high for being an edge in this draft. But I'm going to give them Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, LSU. You can't expect amazing output for Justin Fields if you really don't give him any weapons. DJ Moore has been good for them, and that's also a really good reason why we saw Justin Fields have the best year of his career. While he was hurt, the Bears did not perform well, and when he came back, the Bears were kind of playing like a playoff team in the NFC. So getting him more weapons, possibly getting him protection, we'll see what's available at 9, will be huge for the Bears next season, and I think the right decision is to stick with Justin Fields. At 6, we have the Titans. This is tackle spot for me, personally. Either tackle or tight end is Brock Bowers. It should... this is an interesting one. I think I'm going to have them go... It's really just Joe Alt or Brock Bowers here for me. I'm going to end up giving them... Yeah, I'm going to give them Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. It's really just a pick of those 2 guys, in my opinion. They either need tackle or tight end. They need help blocking, and they also need help giving Will Levis more receiving options, especially... We'll see whether or not DeAndre Hopkins returns next season. At 8, we have the Falcons. And I was talking about how I thought quarterback can go in this draft. And also, the Falcons don't have a head coach right now. That's one thing to know. I don't know why it's not allowing me to scroll right now. Looks like they don't have J.J. McCarthy in this draft, which is interesting. I don't think I'd go him right here, but I'm just thinking because I'm going to have him go in the first round. I want to see maybe a possible name I could replace for him. Just, it's going to be J.J. McCarthy. I guess they have him staying at Michigan in this case, which I think he'll declare. Also, Cameron Ward coming into the draft this year, pretty big. I know a lot of people aren't too high on him, but I really like Cameron Ward out of Washington State. I guess I'll just put, Mark Gronegask. I guess when I do pick J.J. McCarthy, I guess I'll just put it in as Carter Bradley, which is the last quarterback in the draft. I don't even know about him. But at 8, could this be... I'm kind of scared to do it, but I think I'm going to end up doing it. They could really just go edge here as well. Dallas Turner's kind of just staring right at me, but I'm going to have him go a little later. I'm going to go quarterback here. Michael Penix Jr. Is it extremely high? Yes. Am I doing this just because, national championship? He didn't win it, obviously, but he was in there? Maybe. I'm going to have him go 8, though, to the Falcons. They're going to look for a new quarterback this offseason. It probably will end up being through free agency, possibly Russell Wilson or somebody. But potentially, if it's not through free agency, there's Michael Penix there at 8. With the 9th overall pick, we have the Bears once again. And this is where I'm going to go defensive end or edge. I'm going to go, just make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Okay. I'm going to go Dallas Turner here at 9, exactly where he's projected. They do need edge a lot. And with Justin Fields at quarterback and the offense not being amazing, there's some defense that you need to rely on. And getting it stronger with Dallas Turner. Okay, well, the offense isn't terrible for the Bears, and it hasn't been terrible the last couple weeks when the Bears were kind of making a small playoff push. You still need defensive strength, and Dallas Turner I have as the first defensive player coming off the board. At 10, we have the Jets, and they don't have a second first-round pick. I don't know why I can never scroll down to see the Ravens with the last pick, but they don't have another first-round pick. So this is going to be a bit of a tough decision here. Tackle is their number 1 priority, and J.C. Latham is sitting here right here. I think I'm going to give them Brock Bowers instead. I'm going to give them Brock Bowers instead. They really, really, really need tackle, but I think one thing for these tackles, outside, in my opinion, of Olufishanu and Joe Alt and J.C. Latham to an extent, I think really any of these tackles, probably up to Patrick Paul, who's projected 58, can all go in the first, or can all end up dropping into the second round. Fuega, I could see Marius Mims and lined up at guard too. Troy Fautanu, Graham Barton, Cooper Bibe, all able to drop to the second round. So the Jets should have an ability to take an offensive lineman in the second round. But just getting a versatile guy like Brock Bowers here at 10 would be huge for them. Getting Aaron Rodgers more help and hopefully making a playoff push next season. At 11, we have the Vikings. I think this is defense all the way. It's either going to be a cornerback, probably going to be either Terrion Arnold or Nate Wiggins. Or when we look at edge, Leatu Latu's right here, Jared Verse's right here. Two guys I can see go right here. I'm going to end up having them go Leatu Latu out of UCLA, my second edge off the board. Overall, he's probably the most polished edge in this draft class. He had to medically retire from UCLA, he had to medically retire at one point in his college career. So seeing him back, seeing him healthy, and seeing him possibly being the first edge off the board would be huge. Overall, I think he's the best edge in this class. But when we look at NFL draft prospect, I'd probably have Dallas Turner a little higher. At 12, we have the Broncos. And, yeah, I mean, they're another team that could go ahead and go quarterback here, go South Alabama great Carter Bradley. But I think I'll leave J.J. McCarthy to slide just a little bit more. I'm going to have the Broncos taking a defensive tackle. It's going to be Johnny Newton out of Illinois. One of the worst rushing defenses in the league. It's a perfect fit. Johnny Newton is a guy who can probably end up top 10. Best possibility if the Chargers really are going to forego the likes of Olufishanu. Unlikely, but Olufishanu, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers, all those guys, and he ends up jumping all the way to 5, which would be huge for him. But I'm going to have him at 12 to the Broncos. They need run stop. Did they have the worst running defense in the league? They might have. And Johnny Newton can give them just that. At 13, we have the Raiders. Raiders are a team who also need a lot. And is this going to be my J.J. McCarthy pick or Carter Bradley pick, some might say? Possibly. I don't think I'm going to go him, though. I'm going to go cornerback. This will be my first cornerback off the board. Going my cornerback 1, we're going Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. He's my best cornerback in this draft right now. Long arms, he's tall, he can make great plays on the ball. Didn't mean to do all that rhyming, but Nate Wiggins is my best cornerback in this draft class. At 14, we have the Saints. Another semi-easy pick for me. I'm going to have them go J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Fact of the matter is that Ryan Ramczyk might retire. He has bad knees. Nothing much more to say, and he's really hasn't been able to keep up recently. He's still a good tackle, but he's definitely slowed down, and it's shown on the field. Let's go get a replacement here. We'll go J.C. Latham out of 14 to the Saints. Could it be J.J. McCarthy? Possibly, but I really don't think that's the right idea. At 15, we have the Colts. And I think this is going to be another edge off the board for me. Jared Verse is looking at me in my eyes. I could also possibly see cornerback. Terrion Arnold would be definitely one to look at. Khalid McKinstry as well. This is either going to be Jared Verse or Terrion Arnold, and I'm going to lean. I'm going to give them. I'm going to give them Jared Verse here at 15. Jared Verse at 15. Someone we have slipping a little bit might be Roma Dunze, and if the Saints want to pick him at 14, go ahead and do it. But Jared Verse at 15, it's just a high need position for the Colts, and Jared Verse is arguably the best edge in the class. It's great fit, and it's going to be great value at 15 as well. At 16, we have the Seahawks. I'll make this one quick. Geno Smith is getting old, and they're going to go J.J. McCarthy here at 16. He's not in this draft class, so you're going to see Carter Bradley on the screen. But just know that this is 100% J.J. McCarthy. New head coach, so possibly new quarterback. You know, head coach always wants to end up getting his new quarterback for his system. Pete Carroll no longer there. He was able to work pretty well with Geno Smith in those 2 years that he started. But I think they're going to end up getting a new quarterback. I think J.J. McCarthy, while he definitely won't start year 1, year 2, probably not as well, but possibly year 3, who knows, if they decide to move on from Geno Smith. At 17, we have the Jaguars. This is definitely another team who could use corner, who could use interior offensive linemen. I'm looking at Graham Barton and Troy Fautanu here. But there's a player who slipped a little bit in this draft class, and he goes by the name of Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze could very well be a top 10 pick, and it's just kind of been unlucky for him. You know, there's definitely teams that can go ahead and take him. I'm looking at the Broncos. I'm looking at probably the Colts. Probably not, but you never know. The Colts. Definitely the Raiders. Definitely the Saints. Probably the Jets. Guys like that. But have him slip to 17. It's going to be a great value pick for the Jaguars. You really just couldn't see him fall any farther. And just getting Trevor Lawrence more weapons. Hopefully we can finally see that breakout season from him. But I'll have him go at 17. At 18, we have the Bengals. I've kind of been talking about the same guys at 18 for the Bengals. It's really been wide receiver and cornerback. At this point, my top wide receivers left on the board are probably Keon Coleman. Him and Brian Thomas, very similar, not in terms of players, but in terms of who's 1 and 2 my wide receivers left. Adonai Mitchell. After him, I'd probably go Xavier Worthy, then Troy Franklin, then Xavier Legette. But a lot of good wide receivers were probably going to end up going in the late first round to the early to middle second round. But I'm going to have them go cornerback. I'm going to have them go my second cornerback in this draft. We're going to go Terry Arnold out of Alabama. I think at this point he's kind of solidified himself as the better cornerback prospect than Kool-Aid McKinstry, which is saying a lot because Kool-Aid McKinstry had a lot of hype out of Alabama going into this year. Has he fell off a little bit? I guess you could say so. He hasn't had a bad season, though. Terry Arnold, 18 to the Bengals. You know, scenario they can go receiver, though. You know, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, guys who we could see leave in the near future because of their contracts. So they could end up going Keon Coleman or Brian Thomas here at 18. Thomas may be a little bit early, but I could see Keon Coleman. But I'm going to have them go my cornerback 2 in this class, Terry Arnold. At 19, we have the Packers, our first playoff team here. So this is where the draft order will probably get a little bit shaken up because let's say the Packers win in the wild card, then they end up drafting somewhere in the 20s. But I think this is going to be another cornerback for me. Kool-Aid McKinstry or Cooper DeJean are the 2 guys I'm looking at here. Kool-Aid McKinstry dropping out to be my 4th cornerback in this class would kind of be crazy. But you know what? No, we're going to have them Kool-Aid McKinstry here at 19. It's a team that needs defensive back help, and getting a guy who's potentially or possibly cornerback 1 in this class would be huge for them. Also, good luck to the Packers in the playoffs. I really like Kool-Aid McKinstry game. Another guy who's a height, weight, speed demon. At 20, we have the Buccaneers. Somehow they're in the playoffs too, whatever. You know, they could be looking for quarterback. Unfortunately, J.J. McCarthy off the board for them, even though I don't really think they'd take him. I'm going to assume that they stay with their quarterback position right now, and they end up going, I'm going to have them go offensive line in this one. Either tackle or guard, I think with Amarius Mims being on the board still. I mean, there's also Troy Fautanu. You know what? I'm going to end up going guard here. I'm going to go Troy Fautanu out of Washington. He's risen up my draft boards a little bit since my last mock draft. He's just proven to be the best offensive lineman on the best offensive line in the country in Washington. So he should bring probably immediate starting to the Buccaneers at 20. But overall, I mean, it's going to be another deep tackle / guard class here. And Trey Falcons has proven to be one of the better ones. At 21, we have the Cardinals. I'll make this one quick. After drafting your future wide receiver 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4, I think we go on the other side of the ball. I'm going to go edge here. Chop Robinson, JT Tuimoloau are 2 guys I'm probably looking at. I'm going to have him go Chop Robinson, though, at 21. He's a twitchy, he's a big, bulky, twitchy. It sounds weird, but he's that type of athlete. He's going to be a scary guy if you're a tackle going against the Cardinals. Going against Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson is a great player, and he's going to bring... Is he an immediate starter for them? Depends how training camp goes, but I kind of expect him to definitely get minutes of playing time right off the bat for the Cardinals. At 22, we have the Rams. This one shouldn't really at all be a decision for them. I think this needs to be cornerback right away. Cooper DeJean still on the board. Yes, Cooper DeJean still on the board. But as crazy as this sounds, I might have him drop a little bit farther because there are some cornerbacks that I think the Rams would like a little bit more than him. You know what? No, I'm going to have him go Cooper DeJean. I was thinking about giving them either Kamari Lassiter, Quinion Mitchell, I guess maybe even Ennis Rakestraw out of Missouri, who's had a great season. Also, Kalen King out of Penn State. But I'm going to give them Cooper DeJean. Did have a season-ending injury at Iowa, but he's just so versatile in that secondary. Can play nickel, can play boundary, can play both safety positions. And overall, he's one of the best overall players in this draft class in terms of what he can do. At 23, we have the Steelers. This also should not be too hard of a pick for them. They need to go tackle right here. I'm going to have them go Talisi Fuega out of Oregon State. They need tackle. It's just an overall good fit. Amarius Mims was probably the second guy I was looking at, but Talisi Fuega out of Oregon State to the Steelers. At 24, we have the Dolphins. Also could be a tackle or guard here. Could also end up being a cornerback or defensive back, I say. Quinion Mitchell, Kamari Lassiter, Kalen King, Ennis Rakestraw, all guys I'm looking at. I'm going to have them end up going guard here. Yes, I'm going to have them end up going guard here. We're also seeing a bit of a fall from Amarius Mims here, so that's a little, I'm not going to say concerning, but I mean, it'll end up being good for whoever ends up taking them. You know what? I'll end it right here. I'll take Amarius Mims. Yeah, I'll take Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Do they need tackle specifically? Probably not. I'd lean more guard. But I'll have them stop the sliding of tackles or a sliding of Amarius Mims specifically, where he could probably end up going as early as 14. Have him dropping to 24. So Amarius Mims out of Georgia at 24. Yeah, obviously the season was cut short because of how Georgia played in that conference championship. They blew their opportunity at a playoff spot and probably a championship. Who knows? But Amarius Mims, he's a great player. He's a versatile player. You know, he's a big guy, and he's had his issues on staying on the field when it comes to non-injury stuff. I'm talking about cardio and stuff like that. But I'll keep Amarius Mims at 24 to the Dolphins. This could possibly be a steal. At 25 to the Eagles, it's time to stop looking at offensive linemen. It's time to go directly to the cornerback / safety position. Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. Just because he's from Toledo does not mean he's not a baller. Quinion Mitchell, talk about a height, weight, speed demon. A little less weight, but height and speed is insane. One of the fastest guys overall in this draft class. Also has great height at the cornerback position. I believe he's about, let me check it real quick, his exact height. I thought it was around 6 foot 1. Let me check his, can I get his height? Six foot 196. 6'1", I'll give it to him. But Quinion Mitchell, great prospect out of Toledo, and he can probably end up being a boom or bust type of guy. You know, not amazing competition at Toledo, but he has all the attributes to end up being a great player. in this draft. Quinyon Mitchell at 25 to the Eagles. At 26 to the Chiefs. Don't make the mistake. This is an easy one, positional-wise, because when it comes to wide receivers, they can end up going Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas. Those are kind of my top two guys right now. I'm going to go with, in my opinion, the more secure guy in Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. I'm going to sing a little bit of a fall from Keon Coleman in this draft, but Brian Thomas, just an amazing season out of LSU. Was that because of Jaden Daniels? Yes, but also due to him just being a great player, able to get open downfield, and also him being 6'4". He should be an amazing target for Mahomes. And also, Chiefs fans, don't be too scared to look at the tight end position. Jatavion Sanders probably being the biggest one to look at, because Travis Kelce's definitely slowing down a little bit. At 27, we have the Texans. If Keon Coleman was not on the board, this would probably be an easy edge selection. But because he's still on the board, I'm going to have to go Keon Coleman out of Florida State. Stop his fall. Do the Texans need wide receiver badly? Honestly, no. They've made do with the guys they have. Tank Dell's going to come back next season better than ever. Nico Collins, by next season, I don't think he'll be one of the most underrated players in the league. Then you have guys like, who else do they have on that team? Noah Brown, obviously. And overall, C.J. Stroud's made do with what he's got. So, also Xavier Hutchinson out of Michigan. That was the guy who I couldn't have come to my mind. But getting another wide receiver in there who could end up being a big wide receiver 1 for them, or wide receiver 1A/1B with Tank Dell, should be big. And I honestly don't really like Keon Coleman out of Florida State, but I'll stop his fall here at 27. At 28, we have the Lions. Let's make this one fast. Kamari Lassiter at 28. They need cornerback, an aggressive guy in Kamari Lassiter. I think he definitely fits the Dan Campbell type of defense. Not Dan Quinn. Dan Campbell type of defense in Detroit. So, honestly, I think it's a perfect fit. An even better fit would probably be Quinyon Mitchell, but I have him going a little bit earlier in this mock draft. At 29, we have the Bills. I don't know why I clicked off, because I think this is going to be another cornerback. They need cornerback, honestly, a little heavily. Probably more being secondary. They could probably take on a safety, but I'm going to have them go cornerback here. Kalen King out of Penn State at 29. We've had a little bit of a run in cornerbacks. We've basically taken, honestly, C.J. Champa and his Rakestraw, 2 great cornerbacks, but I definitely see them more as second-round guys. We've kind of taken every possible cornerback there is to take in this first round. Possibly. We'll see what happens. At 30, we have the Cowboys. Voice cracked a little bit, but we have the Cowboys. Another team that can go tackle or guard. There are most of these teams that need the tackle position also end up needing guard. So, a couple guys available still. All guys that, everyone from Kingsley Sewell-Mataya to Patrick Ball can end up going in the first round. And when we look at the guards, Graham Barton can go in the first round. Speaking of Graham Barton, I'm going to have him go here at 30 to the Cowboys. They need another guy. I guess not technically next to Trey Smith, but 2 guys next to, on the other side of the center. And Graham Barton, he had a great season at Duke, and he's really an NFL-ready type of guy in my opinion. I don't know if he's an immediate starter. Honestly, probably not. But he's definitely going to fight for the position there for the Cowboys. At 31, we have the 49ers. I think I might go offensive line again. Can these last 3 picks, last 3 picks, the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Ravens, all be offensive line? Possibly. I will see where I go with the Ravens. But I'm going to go Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma there at 31. In my opinion, him and Jordan Morgan are my 2 best tackles left in the bunch we have. So, he's just going to a team that needs tackle. Not really much to say about it, honestly. Tyler Guyton, he had a good season at Oklahoma. At 32, we have the Ravens. who, honestly, if they do end up winning the Super Bowl and Lamar Jackson gets his flowers of being solidifying himself as one of the best. I mean, if he wins the Super Bowl this year and performs throughout the whole playoffs, we're probably going to start saying he's the best quarterback in the league. But that's honestly recency bias. I'd still probably end up going Mahomes. But are we looking to give him a weapon and possibly add Nye Mitchell, Xavier Legette, Ladd McConkey? Probably not. Xavier Worthy, Troy Franklin, Jalen Polk, probably not. McMillan, probably not. Devontae Walker, too. Interested. Or can we go more cornerback? TJ Tampa and his Rickstraw are the two best guys available, in my opinion. Now let's do something a little bit different. I haven't picked him yet in one of these mock drafts, and I'm going to keep scrolling until I find him. I'll stop scrolling. Devontae Walker, out of North Carolina. He's had an interesting college career for sure, but at the end of the day, he has wide receiver one potential just overall. And if he ends up being paired with a guy like Zay Flowers, that duo would be amazing. So here are my end of drafts results. We had a pretty interesting draft. It's definitely been one of the more unique ones. Some guys I definitely had going, fluctuating draft results from what I had earlier. Obviously Carter Bradley, but we do know who that actually is. Roma Dunze dropping a little bit is huge. Michael Penix all the way at 8 is huge as well. Looking else at what we got. Terry Arnold, is 18 the highest I've had him? Possibly, I'm not sure. Khalid McKinstry dropping a little bit. I think this is the highest I've ever had. Troy Fautanu. Quinion Mitchell going a little bit higher. Keon Coleman dropping a little bit. And then not Tyler Guyton. Then Devontae Walker jumping to 32. All big picks. So thank you for watching this video. Yes, we're back with the mock drafts. We're back with the NFL, I guess, end of season style videos. And then we're going to get to the NBA. So thanks for watching this videos, and see you next time. Peace.